Hello, cyber survivors. Welcome back to Payload Media, the only channel where we laugh at global cyber catastrophes because otherwise we'd cry into our keyboards. My name is Jack, and today we're covering one of the most infamous internet-melting, network-obliterating vulnerabilities ever created. And yes, somehow it involves the NSA, North Korea, ransomware, and a global meltdown that IT admins still wake up screaming about. But before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to someone, and it is you. You are the one that stopped doom scrolling and actually took your time to learn, hopefully, something new about cybersecurity and its history. Thank you for that. Now hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for everyone that chose the same way as you. EternalBlue started as an NSA-developed cyber weapon. Yep, a literal weapon. While other governments make jet fighters, the NSA made a wormable exploit for Windows SMB because priorities. This vulnerability, officially known as MS17-010, was a flaw in the ancient and eternally cursed SMB1 protocol, the thing responsible for file sharing on Windows systems. It's basically the digital equivalent of leaving your front door open with a neon sign saying, "Please come hack me." EternalBlue allowed remote code execution without authentication. Translation: you could break into a vulnerable machine just by sending it a malicious network packet. One packet. Boom. Full control. NSA loved this exploit. They polished it, weaponized it, funded it, hugged it at night. But they never told Microsoft. Because why patch a catastrophic vulnerability when you can add it to your collection of in case of cyber war, break glass toys? In 2016, a mysterious group called the Shadow Brokers appeared online and said basically, "Hey internet, we hacked the NSA. You want their toys?" And the internet said, "Yes!" The Shadow Brokers dumped a treasure chest of NSA tools, including EternalBlue. It was like a cyber arms dealer doing a garage sale. Theories flew everywhere. Maybe it was insiders, maybe Russia, maybe an NSA intern named Chad who stored everything on Dropbox. Who knows? What we do know is that one of the most sophisticated cyber weapons ever built was now public. It's like the plot of Johnny English, except instead of Rowan Atkinson losing a USB key, the NSA lost the digital plague. After the leak, Microsoft had to scramble. They dropped MS17-010, a patch for EternalBlue, in March 2017. But here's the twist. Most systems did not update, because updating Windows servers is like performing open-heart surgery while blindfolded. And also your boss wants it done after hours without downtime. So millions, literally millions, of machines remained vulnerable. A ticking digital time bomb. May 2017, a new ransomware appears. It's flashy, it's aggressive, it's loud, it's WannaCry, and it was powered directly by EternalBlue. WannaCry was created by the Lazarus Group, widely attributed to North Korea. Yes, the same government that can't keep the lights on somehow built one of the most devastating worms in history. Imagine EternalBlue as a missile and WannaCry as the warhead. It tore across the globe in hours. Hospitals in the UK went offline, FedEx got hit, universities, government agencies, factories, everything that said "I'll patch later" got absolutely annihilated. And the ransom, 300 USD worth of Bitcoin. Only 300 USD. They could have asked for a GPU at today's prices and it would have been worth more. But here's the funniest part. WannaCry's kill switch was a random domain name, registered by a security researcher who just wanted to see what happened. He accidentally stopped the worm. Cybersecurity, where the world gets saved by someone buying a domain for 10 USD. If WannaCry was a punch, NotPetya was a tactical nuclear strike. Released in June 2017, NotPetya pretended to be ransomware, but it wasn't. Because the encryption key was fake, it was irreversible destruction disguised as ransomware. Classic Russian misdirection. Originally targeted at Ukrainian infrastructure, it spread far beyond its intended borders. Thanks again to EternalBlue. Companies lost billions. Maersk, for example, had to rebuild their entire network infrastructure, including domain controllers, from scratch. They literally flew a physical backup tape from Africa because it was the only surviving copy. NotPetya was so destructive that some governments called it an act of cyber war. So thank you, EternalBlue, the vulnerability that keeps on giving. After WannaCry and NotPetya, EternalBlue became the most exploited vulnerability of the decade. It powered crypto miners, ransomware strains, worms, botnets, and more. Anything looking for cheap victims used EternalBlue. It took years for the number of vulnerable systems to drop. Even today, scans show thousands of exposed SMB-v1 systems still online, probably printers, or abandoned Windows 7 boxes in basements, and NSA eventually admitted, quietly, that maybe, just maybe, hoarding vulnerabilities is a terrible idea. So what did EternalBlue teach us? 1. Patch your systems. Seriously. Stop delaying security updates like it's a personality trait. 2. SMB-v1 needs to die. Uninstall it, bury it, salt the earth. 3. Cyber weapons don't stay secret forever. And 4. If your cyber arsenal leaks, you might accidentally give North Korea the digital equivalent of the Infinity Gauntlet. If you enjoyed this deep dive into digital disaster, drop a like, subscribe, because next week we're going to look on one of its children, the WannaCry. And remember, if you don't patch your systems, EternalBlue will find you, and it's not as friendly as this channel. See you next time, cyber survivors.